We're finishing up a week-long stay at TRS Coral Costa Mujeres just outside of Cancun. And in today's video, we're going to give you all the details you need to know about this property to see if it checks the boxes for your next Cancun vacation. TRS is the adults-only section of the Grand Palladium Resort in Costa Mujeres. So we're actually going to be showing you a little bit of the family side as well. Some of the restaurants are there. This is where the spa is located. So it's pretty inevitable that if you're going to be coming to TRS, you will spend some time on the family side. The lobby was spacious, modern, very clean, and the check-in was very efficient. They gave us a map, they gave us a nice welcome drink, and they instructed us on where to go to find our room. And then about 15 minutes later, the bellhop came and brought us our luggage. Now, we were originally booked in a junior suite garden view. We booked it on Wyndham Point, so we got the basic room. But when we checked in, they offered us for $100 more per night the loft suite with a partial ocean view. So we went ahead and upgraded to that loft suite. They also talked us into upgrading to their premium package for $30 a night. So that gave us 2 tickets to their chic cabaret show, 2 days with a Bali bed, 2 passes to the hydrotherapy at the spa, and there were some other perks around the hotel as well. So this was an amazing suite. Obviously you have this huge balcony here on the first level because it is a loft suite. It is a 2-story hotel room, so it's pretty fabulous. And it was a very nice, spacious, clean room. I will say that you can tell that it's starting to show a little bit of wear and tear here and there, but honestly nothing major. And it is kept very clean, pristine condition here. There is a nice mini bar in here that has some sodas, beer, water, and then you can add mixers from your butler. Your butler will bring you some alcohol and you can ask for some mixers to go with that. You have tea, coffee, a coffee maker, all the good stuff. So downstairs there were a couple of closets here. It does not have an ironing board. It comes with a steamer, but we just asked our butler to get us a ironing board and an iron, and that was no problem. And speaking of butlers, ours were Linda and Freddie, so they alternate day and night, and they were amazing. Booked all of our restaurant reservations right the first night. They got us our Bali bed reservations. They basically would answer any questions, bring you anything you need. They even said they'd start the jacuzzi on the balcony if you gave them 30 minutes. They basically were there to help you with whatever you need. So up on the second floor, you do have your bedroom. Now it is open, but you do have this curtain that will close. There is no balcony on the second floor, but the window does open and the bottom portion actually stays intact. So it kind of feels like you have a little bit of a balcony, and there's a screen that can cover the window area. So if you want to leave the window open all night, you can do that here. Now I want to say the bed wasn't all that comfortable. At first we thought it kind of was, but it kind of bothered our back a little bit during the week. There is a second mini fridge up on the top floor that was stocked with water, but you could obviously bring stuff up from the first floor if you wanted to do that. Now this bathroom was pretty awesome. All along the sides there were a bunch of closets, and the doors actually do close to the bedroom. So if you want to have a little privacy, you can do that. You have this huge freestanding jetted tub that you can use. So in addition to your jacuzzi on the balcony, you could also come in your bathroom and take a nice bath. Double sinks in here. All of the products in here are L'Occitane, so it's good, decent products. And actually a really good blow dryer with 3 different heat settings, which I appreciate. This huge walk-in shower and a separate room with the toilet in here. But yeah, this shower was just great. It was sad to leave this shower and come home to my little baby shower at home. This huge rain head, oh my gosh, it was just lovely to take a shower in here. And again, you have the good L'Occitane products, although I will say I did not like the conditioner, so you may just want to bring your own. And again, the closet space, you did have robes and slippers, which I actually used throughout the trip. They were actually really comfy robes. I don't always say that about hotel robes. Usually they're kind of scratchy, but these were super soft. I really appreciated it. The way that the balconies are facing the ocean, it kind of gives you some privacy from your next door neighbors. You can't see them and they can't see you, which I think is great. On the TRS or adults only side, there is one pool. So Basically, you're not having different pools that you can choose from, but I feel like this pool is large enough to kind of have an area where it's a little quieter and an area where it's a little busier. There is a swim up bar, and the swim up bar area was where I felt like it was a little bit louder, a little bit busier. One of the things that I noticed about this hotel was that the lounge chairs didn't fill up very quickly. It wasn't like a lot of hotels where you're playing the towel game and have to come and reserve chairs at 7 a.m. before you go have breakfast. Coming out here, sometimes we'd be out here at 10 o'clock in the morning, and a good majority of the chairs weren't even taken yet. So I think that either they were not at full occupancy, or they just happened to have enough lounge chairs for everybody, which is amazing. So the lounge chairs are all cushioned. They have umbrellas. There are pool attendants around who will come and help you with the umbrellas. You'll have both drink and food service brought to your chair. So they do have a grill that opens up in the afternoon so they can bring you food. If you booked a swim out room, this is what that looks like. So you have a pool that kind of connects between all of the different rooms. And at least in this particular case, that pool area overlooks the bigger pool area, so you get some nice views, kind of stay in the action. And they do have different kind of classes throughout the day. This was like a bicycle class. They had aerobics. They also have a palapa where they were doing Pilates and different types of activities. And in the afternoon, they'll bring out like a live band, sometimes a DJ. It kind of livens it up a little bit. So over on the family side, there were a few pools. This is the one for the club members. It was super cute, but we did have access because we upgraded to that premium package. So it was very quiet, very just serene feeling, but great service here. And at night, it looks spectacular. So here's another shot during the day. And I just love how they put the planters kind of in the pool area. But again, this is just more of that peaceful pool if you're looking to kind of get away from any sort of noise or action. But it is a family pool again. So you will have some kids that are going to be out here. But I kind of felt like there weren't a whole lot of kids because it was kind of quiet. There wasn't a lot for the kids to be able to do here. And all the different pool areas, there's some different seating that you can rent separately, like the Bali beds. Do expect to pay about $80 or more for that. I would suggest waiting till you get to the resort and book with the pool attendant, because when I looked online, it was a lot more expensive to book that. So this whole pool area does have billiard tables. There's a ping pong table. So some different activities that you can take advantage of over in the pool areas. So the next pool is also on the family side, and this is the main pool for the family section. So if you are staying at TRS, you can come over to this pool as well to use it. And again, I just didn't feel like it was all that busy, so maybe it was low occupancy because this was about 10 a.m. and there weren't a lot of people or a lot of chairs that were reserved. Now, this pool is also very massive, but it is really just one big pool. And so you don't have a bunch of separate pools here to take advantage of, but it is very, very large. And again, very adequate for the size of the property, I would say. And because you are on the family side, they have some more things that are geared towards kids. So as we were walking around, we found this giant chest, and there was a little stage where they might have some entertainment. And then there is this small little water park area. So some little slides kind of geared towards maybe younger kids, not necessarily teenagers or older kids. And I absolutely love these tiny little lounge chairs. That is so special. Also in that same area was this little shaded playground, and this is attached to the kids club. If you're staying at the family side and you book as Family Select, which is like an upgrade, you have access to this Family Select pool. So just another option. And then on the very end of the family side, you're going to find the Fizz pool. It's just like a very small pool area that is next to the spa. This place was never busy. It always seemed very empty, but it's just a very small little pool area, and it's attached to the pizza shop and a gelato place. The grounds here are absolutely stunning. And I think what makes it very special is having this big lagoon that kind of runs through the middle of the property. But not only that, you're gonna find little pieces of artwork or signs around the property, great selfie opportunities, but some of the artwork does have some notes with it, so it might represent something. So it's always fun to stop and look and see what's attached to that piece of art. There are alebrijes that are all over, and it's a Mexican type of art. Now, we did see some people paddle boarding and kayaking on this lagoon. From what I understand, it is free to do the paddle boarding and the kayaking. You just need to make a reservation in advance, and you can do that with your butler. So you see the boat in the water. Now, this isn't just like a tour boat. This can actually take you from one spot to the other. So let's say you're wanting to go to dinner and you don't want to walk, and you don't want to take a golf cart, because they do have golf carts available to you that go around the property. But if you want to take a boat, you can do that. So there are different stops all around the property, and you can get on one of those stops. Just let them know where you're going, and they'll make sure that they get you there. So I think this was such a fun and unique way to get around your hotel resort. You could also just take a boat to take a tour around the property. So kind of fun to see everything. I will say that for getting around the property, you do have options, because you do have the boats, do have golf carts, and you obviously can walk. The property is pretty large, and it did take some getting used to figuring out where everything is and how to get there, because this lagoon kind of went through things. It made it a little bit tricky to figure your way around. Now, one of the cool things is that they have this other little boat that is used for like a dinner. So I didn't look into the cost of this. This is an additional cost, but could be kind of fun. We're about to head into the Zentropia spa. We have an appointment for a hydrotherapy circuit, so we're going to show you around. Since we upgraded to that premium package, we were able to use the hydrotherapy for free, and we booked it with the guy that walks around the pool from the spa. He knew by our bracelet that we had that included in our package. And you can also get a 2-for-1 massage for, I believe it was about $270. So it could be worth it for you. Now, we started off in the sauna. You can spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and we had a great attendant, Armando, who would just come get us after the 5 or 10 minutes. We did the cold plunge. Oh my gosh, so cold. And then we went into the steam room, and oh my gosh, it was so hot, nearly killed me. I could not deal. I had to get out of there before even 5 minutes. But don't worry, they had some ice here for you, and so when you get out, you're supposed to lather yourself up with the ice, kind of cool yourself off. It did feel really good. And then you head into the salt room, and the salt room is just kind of relaxing, and it's supposed to be therapeutic for you. So sitting in there was no problem. But then we headed into the ice box. It was literally ice, freezing cold, but actually kind of felt good. And then back to some hot, we went into the jacuzzi, and Armando brought us some water so we could rehydrate. But speaking of hydrating, after we were done with that, then he took us over where they had some different water infused and some fruit, so you could get some more hydration and just a little bit of fuel. And then we headed into this amazing area. They had a whole bunch of different areas where you could massage different parts of the body, and it was just a sight to be seen. I don't think that the pictures or the video does it justice. Just gorgeous place, gorgeous location, and obviously having the views out into the ocean just was spectacular. And then Armando led us upstairs to this gorgeous kind of infinity pool area that overlooks the ocean. It's just an amazing place to wrap up this spa treatment. So we got to spend some time out here taking in the sun and swimming, and they have a smoothie bar here, so you can get smoothies, coffee. They had some little kind of grab and go treats as well, so you can rehydrate, refuel. Right attached to the spa is the gym. And so the gym, I would say, is adequate. I've seen better gyms at resorts, but this does the job. It's not the most beautiful, but it has all the equipment, has some nice spaces for you to work out, stretch, get that exercise in. And just to note, both the spa and the gym are on the family side of the property. Over on the family side, you're going to find Suntory, which is the Japanese restaurant. And you have 3 different options here. You have regular table service, you have the sushi bar, or you have the teppanyaki. And you have to make a separate reservation for each type. So we opted for the teppanyaki. Now, I feel like all the all-inclusive resorts have some sort of teppanyaki or hibachi, but we like to try them out when we go just to see what it's like. Before they actually started the show, they brought out some miso soup and this tuna wonton, really good. And the food was good. I preferred the show. Esteban was a great chef. He was hilarious, put a lot of comedy into it. El Gaucho is a Brazilian steakhouse. Now, this is on the adults only side. It's near the pool on the second level. Now, we had booked that premium package and it came with a romantic dinner. And we had a few options to where we were going to have that romantic dinner. And this is where we decided to have it. So essentially, we got a private table that was out on a patio, kind of overlooking everything. And that is the beach over there on the other side. They did have some options on the beach, but I thought our food would get too sandy. Oh, it was so windy out there. Obviously, the weather was still beautiful. It was warm, but it was very windy. The food was okay. I wouldn't say that it was anything spectacular. Our steaks were decent. The empanadas were pretty good. And I just don't know that it was anything that really wowed me. And I think that was kind of similar with a lot of the food here. Everything was good, but nothing really, really wowed me here. Other than the fact that we had this romantic dinner included with our package, I don't think I would pay for it separately. Other than having the table that was private, I don't think that we really got anything added, no special menu, no really added benefits other than the table. Caprichos is on the adults only side and it's open for breakfast and lunch. And it's kind of like a hybrid buffet a la carte restaurant. So when you walk in, order your drinks from your waiter, you can go to this small selection of buffet items and then just go and order your meal through a la carte. So kind of what I would like to do is just go up and they had a bunch of fresh fruit, get my fruit, maybe some kind of bread option, and then I would order my meal. It's kind of limited options for a la carte, but they'll basically customize anything. And a cool thing is they actually have live music that's playing here and most restaurants actually throughout the property all day long. Of course, you have mimosa station, order any kind of drink you want. But as you can see here, just a small little buffet area with different types of foods that you can get here. And the food actually was really good from the a la carte menu. But if you are into like a full buffet, this is not going to probably be your favorite choice here. But don't worry, we did go find another buffet at the family section, which you might appreciate more. Now, outside of Caprichos, we always saw these iguanas just hanging out, sunbathing. Don't be afraid of them. They're super cute. They'll kind of just scuttle along the way. Now, Helios is near the adults only pool. They are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but sometimes they were just closed. Even though the app showed that they were open, we'd show up and they were closed for breakfast. We ate lunch here quite a bit, and look at again, another music player. And they have an indoor seating and outdoor seating, so depending on what you prefer, you have the options. Now, we did get several things here because we ate here several days. They have homemade guac they make right in front of you, and it is so good, the best guac ever. The rest of the food was decent except for the hamburger. Do not order the hamburger. It looks like the meat was gray. It was not cooked properly. The rest of it looks so beautiful too. So I was so disappointed in that meat. Yuck. We do have more restaurants to show you, but let's break it up by showing you the beach. So as you can see, the beach itself is super expansive. There's so much space, so much sand. It's nice, powdery, soft sand. They have plenty of lounge chairs, and they will have drink service that comes out to you here as well. Now, the thing of it is that the water itself is not my favorite. Now, it is sargassum season, so if you're not familiar, there is some terrible seaweed that comes from the Sargassum Sea over into this whole area. Now, this part of Mexico, the Costa Mujeres area, doesn't get quite as much of the seaweed as other parts because it's blocked by Isla Mujeres, but they still get some. They'll bring the tractors. The seaweed isn't that bad, but the water itself isn't great. So we are used to going to beaches where it's that kind of like pool water. It's super calm. It's very crystal clear turquoise water. And this is just not it. It is definitely swimmable, but if you're looking for that true Caribbean kind of color water, you're not going to get that here, even when it's not sargassum season. But that's okay. For some people, this is an amazing beach. We've just had a lot better. Now, we did take a day trip over to Isla Mujeres to visit Playa Norte. We have a whole separate video on that, including how to get there from this hotel. So be sure to check that out. It's linked here and in the description. So there are 4 different sections on the beach. You have the TRS, or the adults only section. You have the travel club section, the family select section, and then just the regular family for the Grand Palladium guests. So each of these 4 sections have a variety of seating options, but another cool thing is that each of the sections has its own bar. So you don't have to go and truck up and down the beach to hit the bar. And of course, they will bring your drinks to your seat. Over in the family section, I did notice that they had some little pails with some shovels for the kids to play in the sand, which I thought was super cute. Overall, just a great stretch of beach, just not my favorite water. So remember, we booked that premium package and it came with tickets to Chic, which normally costs about $70 to $75. And it's a dinner cabaret show. So we went on our first night. We were able to get reservations on our first night. As you're waiting for them to open the doors, they'll have some photo opportunities outside for you. And some of the dancers will come out and do little numbers. So it kind of gets people intrigued, like what's going on here? So maybe they want to book the show eventually. And then once you come inside, everybody's starting to get seated in their chairs and tables, and they start the drink service. Eventually, they'll start the food service. Now, this isn't like your traditional restaurant where they're going to take your order. It's a prefix menu, and the only really option you have is if you're vegetarian or have some kind of allergy, they'll make some special arrangements for you. So basically, as you're watching the show, they're just bringing the different courses to you. They are kind of smaller portions, but you get to try some very interesting things. And we'll show you at the end of this segment what the food was like here. The show had great dancers, great singers, and it went on for like 2.5 hours. We were shocked at the stamina that these performers had. It was pretty great. Now let me show you the food here. We had some braised short rib with truffle. It was like in a mushroom broth. This purple salmon that had this cured cabbage. This was a lemongrass shrimp that had some lemongrass broth and basil. And then this crispy confit pork roulette. That was actually pretty good. Ooh, but this dessert, amazing. Intense abuelita chocolate. It was so good. And then at the end of the show, they invited everybody to come on stage and dance. And speaking of dancing, when the show was over, we were just kind of walking around, and back behind Chic, they had a live band playing some Latin music and people were out there dancing. But then you also come across this bar that's called Aqua, and it kind of feels like you're on a boat, especially with that water that's kind of just rushing past it. It almost feels like you're on a speedboat or something. But anyway, I thought that was kind of cool. We noticed a ton of weddings happening here. Basically every night there was something going on, and you'd see over at the convention center that there would be a big reception going on, but it wasn't just there. There were other parts of the property that you would see some parties going on, and they looked like they were weddings. So this must be a very popular spot to have a wedding. If you got married here, drop a comment and let us know how that went so you can help the other viewers out. When walking around the property, it's really hard to miss this huge chapel. So if you are going to get married and you want to have more of a traditional wedding ceremony, you could do that in this church here. Near the church is where you're going to find the amphitheater. Now this is the large theater for the property. There is a smaller kind of area on the adult side, and sometimes the same performers from over here will go over to the adult side to give maybe a smaller performance over there. But there are definitely some opportunities for you to have fun and be silly at this resort. These little horsies were right outside of the theater area. But of course, me being 5'0", I had to take advantage of the kiddie one. It was probably more appropriately sized for me. But again, more of that artwork that we talked about. These are outside of some of the restaurants. So these are the alebrijes that you'll find around. They're really cute. Over on the family side in the village, you're going to find the most adorable coffee shop called Piacer. Now, it opens at 8 a.m. until 11 p.m. So if you're looking for a really early morning coffee, you're not going to get that here. But of course, don't worry, because you do have coffee in your room. So they have different types of coffees or other drinks and some pastries and sandwiches. But I just love the atmosphere of this place. I feel like if you're just walking around, this is a great place to get out of the sun and the heat. Just come hang out in this kind of elevated looking coffee shop. As you're out and about in the evening, at least once during your trip, you should stop to see the light and water show. So it runs every half hour in the evenings, and there are a couple places that you can watch from. So essentially, what it is just the water and a projection onto the water, and it's kind of like a history of Mexico, if you will. But it is kind of a nice little feature that they have. It is free entertainment. I think they did a good job with this. El Dorado is a steakhouse that is on the family side of the property. Now, this is kind of a more traditional American steakhouse, where, as you saw, El Gaucho earlier was a Brazilian steakhouse. So, obviously, it's going to be a different menu here. The ambiance in here was great, but obviously, there are going to be kids here. So, if that is important to you, probably just stick to El Gaucho. Honestly, I felt like El Gaucho was a lot busier than this particular steakhouse, so you might actually get a little bit more peace and quiet coming to this steakhouse as opposed to El Gaucho. And just like most of the restaurants here, they had music playing out in the restaurant, and I thought the food here was good. I got this onion soup. I thought it was really good, but just a note, we didn't eat at the French restaurant. I hear the French onion soup there is to die for. I also got a Caesar salad that came with some chicken, and then of course we had to get our steak dishes. So I got a filet mignon, and I got it medium, and it was cooked perfectly. I think the sides were kind of small, so you do have several options for sides, but you can always order more. And then we got a ribeye, and again, kind of small side portions, but that's okay, just order more. It's all inclusive. There are actually 2 Italian restaurants on property. This one is on the family side. It's called Portofino's. We did not actually eat here, but I did step inside just to kind of get a view. And so if you are going to stay on the family side or decide to eat at this particular restaurant, you can kind of get a flavor for what to expect. Beautiful ambiance. I thought that they did a really good job in decorating this place. Le Petit Chef was closed, and I don't see it anywhere on the app, so I don't know if this is something that is coming soon or has recently closed down. Now, the Mexican restaurant over on the family side is called La Adelita. You walk into this waiting area with a bar, but beautiful artwork on the walls, and there are different options for seating. So you saw over there the area that has all the windows. It looks very beautiful. I felt like the menu here had a variety of dishes from different regions of Mexico, so you're not stuck with any one particular type of Mexican food. So I did get a chicken tortilla soup where they poured the broth into the soup bowl for you. It was very good. Ordered some chips and guacamole. Again, the guacamole here at this resort was second to none. Delicious. And that was a torta with pressed chicharron. The salsa variety was very good. Some very spicy stuff. This was cochinita pibil. I was not expecting it to be on the bone. It was so flavorful. And these were like chicken enchiladas, but instead of chile, it was mole on top. So good. Back over on the adult side, you're going to find the French restaurant and Italian restaurant, and they share a bar and waiting area. So we ate at the Italian restaurant, which is called Tentazioni, and we were pleasantly surprised when we walked in. We saw our waiter from another evening, and he saw us and quickly escorted us to a table so that we could be in his section. And the food was really good. That burrata was so fresh. The pizza was surprisingly good. We got the Mexican style pizza, and it was a little spicy. Had some decent pasta here, and the steak was really good. And although we didn't eat at the French restaurant, we did have a peek inside just to see what the decor looked like, and the ambiance looks really cute inside of there. Isla Blanca is the main buffet over on the family side. Now, if you're looking for a true buffet experience, this is where you're going to want to come. It is a huge buffet, a lot of variety, different stations with different types of food. They had several stations in the morning where you could get your eggs or omelets made to order. And I just felt like that there was such a good variety of quality food here. So even though I like ordering the a la carte at the adult side, sometimes you just want to have a nice buffet selection. So we ended up coming over here quite a few days not just for breakfast, but we also came here for lunch and one night for dinner. When we went out on an excursion, we came back a little tired and didn't want to get ready for our dinner reservations. At every restaurant that you go to, including the buffet, they will ask you if you have any allergies. And if you are at the buffet and you do have an allergy, they will offer to have someone walk around with you just to kind of show you what might have some of your allergens in the food so that you can avoid them. The one thing I did notice, and I will note, is that I didn't see a lot of gluten-free products. So I did notice a little gluten-free section over at the buffet, but it was very small and probably not the best options for you. I did love that there was such a good variety of fresh fruit and they changed it out with different selections daily. I even thought that the adult buffet had a really good selection of fruit at that buffet as well. You can order coffee with the waiter, but they do have a little coffee station here as well. So if you just want to go and make yourself a little espresso, you can do that. The breads here were so good. I had conchas a lot and they were so fresh and so soft. I did like the variety of food here and thought that they had really good options. Some delicious tacos at dinner, but beware that salsa is super spicy. Oh, and soft serve ice cream. Yum. Near the beach on the family side, there is a smaller buffet with outdoor seating that's open for breakfast and for lunch. We went there but only got footage of the exterior seating. If you're looking for what to do at nighttime, you can come up to the Gravity Bar. Now this is near the ocean on the adult side. This is above El Gaucho and Helios. It's like a rooftop bar experience. So you do have a DJ that plays at night. While we were up here, it was pretty empty. There were a few people dancing, but I know they had like a white party one night that we didn't attend. So it's possible that it gets busier at times, but it just happened to be that when we were here, it was pretty empty. Over on the family side, there were a few different options. So over near Chic, there's another dinner show called Bravo that we didn't go to. But then across from that, there was this little club or bar area that you walk across the bridge to, and it kind of has a nice view of different things. Now, again, though, this place was pretty empty when we went. So I don't know where all the people, but they were not hanging out at these bars. Now this is all in the village area over on the family side or Grand Palladium. Now also in this area, if you walk up these stairs, you're gonna find the Indian restaurant called Bogali. It happened to be closed the night that we were walking around. We didn't eat at this restaurant in particular, but it looks like it has a really nice atmosphere once again. And from what I understand from other people's reviews, the food was really good. And just across the hall from the Indian restaurant was the Extra Time Sports Bar. Now, finally we found where all the people were coming because this place was always packed. You saw a lot of people always walking up maybe before dinner to grab a drink. You can get food here as well. It is open 24 hours, but the food service is only in the evenings. So you can come over here, get some kind of like American bar style food, or just come watch the game, get some drinks. They do have some games that you can play here as well. But this is where a lot of people came to hang out during the evenings. Now the food is actually served really late night. So if you are wanting to get some food late night, this is where you can come. They also have some outdoor seating here. Overall, I think this hotel offers a lot of value at its price point. Some of the more luxurious hotels in the area go for a lot more per night, and I still feel like you get a little bit of luxury in this property. It's not a truly adult-only place because you do end up going to the family side a lot, so as long as you're not bothered by having kids around at some points, you should be fine, and I think that you will have a wonderful time. Drop a comment and let us know what you think, and we will see you next time.